Hi guys, I'm Sandy with In the Kitchen with Sandy, and on today's episode I'm going to show you how to make apple turnovers. Now these are not all the way homemade, they're semi-homemade, but that's okay. We are going to be using some nice big juicy, these are Granny Smith apples. Look how big those are. Aren't those absolutely beautiful? Look at that. Now these are a little bit tart than, more tart than the regular apples that you buy. But this is what I like to use. I like the little bit of tartness to my turnovers. We're also going to be needing, this is ground cinnamon, just a tiny bit of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of butter, half a cup of brown sugar. We're just going to be using just a few pinches of the granulated white sugar. This is an egg bath that's going to go on once we get the apples cut up and into the pie shell. That's going to go on top. A little bit of water to seal it, and this right here is what we're using today for our crust. This is just a regular pie crust that you can buy at your local grocery store. The first thing I'm going to do, oh, and by the way, I've got my oven preheating right now to 450 degrees. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting my apples.
All right, whenever you're good to go.
Okay, I've got my apples peeled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I cut them up. I'm just going to move this to the side for now. I'm going to get me a different knife. My sharper knife. And you just want to cut into the apple. Cut it in half because you're going to have to get all the seeds out. Careful not to cut your fingers. That one came out easy. Okay, once you get all your apples cleaned and cored, you just want to start cutting them up. And you can cut them any way you'd like to. I'm just cutting mine in like little cubes there. Piece of seed, we don't want to use that. And you just keep cutting them until you have them all cut up. Okay, I've just about got all my apples cut up here. Now, don't be alarmed because they do start turning brown once you start getting them cut up. That's a big old bowl of apples. We're going to have a nice big old stack of turnovers here. Okay, now we are ready. We're going to add our 2 tablespoons of butter. Stir that around. Let it get all nice and melted. Let me grab my cinnamon. Okay, and once we start getting that all melted, we are going to add our apples. Now that looks like a lot of apples, but they are going to cook down because they have a lot of water in them. And we are going to add our brown sugar. A little bit of cinnamon. Make sure that is cinnamon, not paprika. You use as much as you want to use. I don't like a whole lot, so I'm not going to put a whole lot. Now once this starts heating up and the sugar starts melting, it's going to caramelize, and it's going to make them taste absolutely amazing. I love fried apples anyway, and we're going to use about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that's just going to add yumminess to them. That's the wow, the yumminess wow power there. And I'm just going to let these heat up, and we're going to cook them probably for about 6 or 7 minutes. See, they're starting to cook down already. And the temperature's set probably about medium high to get them started. Look at that brown sugar at the bottom there. That's all going to caramelize. And they're going to be absolutely delicious. They already smell really good. See how much they've cooked down? We're going to cook them for just a couple more minutes. Look how that sauce is getting thick right there. That is yummy. Okay, I've cooked the apples down to where I want them. Now, you can cook them down to where you want them. If you like them a little bit hard or a little bit soft, I've got mine like right in the middle. I mean, they're real nice and juicy and tender because they're going to cook in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes anyway inside of the shell. So I'm going to put these in a bowl. Turn them off here. Look how much they've cooked down. That's heaven. That's heaven in a bowl right there. Okay, now we're going to go over to the table and we're going to get them into our pie shell. Okay, now this is the already made pie crust. Like I said, you can get this in your refrigerated section at your grocery store. And this one seems to be childproof. And this particular one comes with 2 in it. So you just take them out. Unroll it gently. Now, if you're that handy in the kitchen to make your own pie crust, then you go right ahead and do it. That might be another episode. Homemade pie crust. But for today, I'm going the easy route. Okay, and then you take your pizza cut and you're just going to cut this. You can make 4 out of this. I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. Well, that's not the middle, but if you can see better than me, then you cut it right down the middle. And you're going to cut it again this way. So you got 4 pieces there. We're going to put just a little bit of apples on there. And you're just going to wet the dough a little bit. This just helps seal it. Take your fingers all the way around it and make sure your fingers are clean. And you're just going to roll it over. You might have to scooch that back a little bit. Roll it, and then you're going to seal it. And you just use your fork. That's all you do. Oh, got an apple trying to escape. Or you can pinch it if you want, but I prefer to use this because it's prettier. Makes it prettier. And then you are going to, first you're going to cut, just make like a incision there. Major surgery, and that's just so they can vent. And then you're going to take your egg wash, and then you're just going to brush it right on top, and that's going to make it turn a golden brown color. Whoops. You don't need that much. New brushes here, so that's what's causing that, okay? And then I'm going to remove this and put it on my foil-lined pan. Just the granulated sugar right on top there, and on top of that egg wash, it's just going to make a nice golden sweet coating, delicious coating. Okay, I'm gonna finish these up and then we're gonna pop them in the oven for on 450 for about 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna put them in at 450 for about 10 to 12 minutes. This is what they look like when they're done. They're nice and golden brown, and I'm just gonna cut into one. These just come out of the oven. I am not going to attempt to take a bite of this because I'm sure that the sauce is bubbling hot. Well, I'm going to take a bite. I'm going to try a bite. No, I don't want to burn my mouth, but we'll edit it if I do. Very hot, but very tasty. And I just want to tell you something. If you make these, make sure that you let your filling cool before you attempt to put it in your pastry dough. I hope you'll try these. They're delicious, and thanks for spending time with me, and I'll see you next time.